Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode 61. We'll probably have a quick podcast for this week. At least for us, not much has happened. So we're going to be, surprise, uh, a little bit of, well, mostly sports, if not all of sports. And we're going to talk about both the NFL and Major League Baseball playoffs. And let's get right into the NFL week 4. Um, John, what did you think of this week? Anything noteworthy happen in your eyes?
Obviously, man, the biggest story I think that probably came out was probably who wasn't
Yep.
playing
Yep.
this week, and that would be obviously with the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as everyone knows. That game between the Titans and the Steelers was actually pushed back to, I believe, week 7. And the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens game was pushed back to, I believe, week 8, which meant that essentially that the Steelers bye week was like week 4, which has been a very touchy topic to say the very least here. Um, and two, we also found out with the Titans that they were pretty much just not exactly doing what they were supposed to be doing. Supposedly they had a private workout outside of the Titans facility, when the NFL and the NFL Players Association specifically said do not get together, quarantine, stay away from each other. So what happened, Matt? They did the exact opposite, and which I believe was headed by like Tannehill or someone, and a group of Tennessee players got together, and all the while, every single day, you just saw 2 more Titans tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking 3 more Titans tested positive. It was just something every single day, and
Yep.
to the point where even for like this week's game against Buffalo, that was actually pushed back until Tuesday because they kept on testing positive. So it's a freaking mess. And
Yeah, and they even moved in separate incidents, the Patriots and Chiefs uh, game back to Monday.
Right.
That was supposed to be um, Sunday afternoon, and with other cases, a QB from the Chiefs and
Mm-hmm.
even Cam Newton from Patriots uh, tested positive, so they pushed that back a day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's what we said even before the season. It's going to be interesting, and stuff already happening. It came out today. We're recording this Friday. Um, that refs are allowed to penalize coaches or the team if they come up without to the official without a mask on. They can call unsportsmanlike conduct for 15 yards for the team. So
kind of
and
kind of silly if you ask me, but at the same time, it's them trying to be extra precautious and to sort of sending a like message here. I'm I'm wondering though how stiff that the punishment is going to be for the Tennessee Titans, because I absolutely believe that something is coming down, and
mm-hmm.
I believe it was on Pro Football Talk said a few days ago that supposedly the NFL was considering a very special punishment that we haven't seen before. So,
I
um,
hope.
which they absolutely deserve by the way. And we've heard some crazy ideas. Like someone stated that basically that Tennessee should lose a like draft pick and give that for the Steelers, which I think is kind of insane, but I wouldn't be
I don't know
against it.
about giving it to the Steelers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of
That's
that's kind of out there, but they
I
definitely need
I
to.
could see draft pick. I don't see just hey Steelers, here's a draft pick. I think just
Um,
forfeiting.
honestly, forfeiting with the Steelers game, I think is what should happen. We're essentially punishing with the Steelers who were following protocol, doing everything that they were supposed to be doing. And here is Tennessee, where they weren't doing so, and now here we are. But and as you said, Matt, we saw with Cam, he tested positive. I believe it was like last Friday or last Thursday, something like that.
Um, I
Um,
don't know. Yeah, some
give or take.
whatever. Yeah.
So that was kind of last second, and then we also found out Wednesday, it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, that Stephon Gilmore tested positive. And what was the funny thing about that, or like not so funny thing, was if you saw at the game, he was touching Pat Mahomes there, and I'm sure that probably got a whole bunch of people worried, and to the point where I think someone asked Pat about that, and he said like he was so like nervous that he decided to basically not be to like not be around his fiance just because he didn't want her kid. It's like since she
Right.
is since she is pregnant on top of that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's but getting more to on the field last week, some pretty good games, some like not so good games. One of them being I'm like a Philadelphia and San Francisco, which was on Sunday Night Football, which I didn't really see since we were watching Takeover, but I caught
Yeah.
I caught in the fourth quarter, and man, that was just an ugly game. And like Philadelphia, they come into Pittsburgh this week, who by the way are going to be having fans because as of I want to say it
Today.
what oh
Well, finish your
yeah
statement.
yeah that basically Pittsburgh is going to have about 5,000 fans,
Yeah.
little over 5,000 fans at the game. So that's nice. But yeah, that was a very a good game. Um, damn it, Eric.
We found out the Cowboys don't have a defense.
Yeah.
Browns winning and almost
How do they score almost 50 points on them?
um no defense.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
it's
don't like
like I mean, it's just I cannot believe how bad that was.
it was 31-14 and half. Um and then I don't know what happened. I had the game off and then all of a sudden you just no the Twitter reactions tell you something's happening and damn it Cowboys got it within like 41 within like 3 points at
Yeah,
the end there.
it was a 3-point game, and by the way, that their offense was going like I thought it was a pretty good chance that they were going to pull that one out, but then the defense had to go back on the field, and for some reason, the Cowboys decided to like squib kick that instead of just
Oh
kicking it
yeah, I didn't
kicking
get
it
that.
in the end zone, which I'm like, okay, you have because I believe that they had all three timeouts,
At
or
least two.
or at least two, and they're scribbing it, and I'm like, just kick it in the end zone, like if unless you're going for the onside kick, then it just made no sense whatsoever. So, and then the very first play they run, I think it was a like reverse to Odell Beckham Jr. and runs over on 50 yards for the score, and that was essentially it there. And now that is by far is the worst division I've ever seen in the NFC East. Like the like 1, 2, and 1. Phil, the Philadelphia Eagles are in first place. The same team who tied with the Cincinnati Bengals are in first place. Like that just kind of just shows you
And
just how
and
bad
one of those teams is making the playoffs.
and is going to to be getting a home playoff game no less. So it's just like I can't
That's what.
recall the only other time I can recall where a division was just so bad was I want to say back in 2011 ish when the Seattle Seahawks were like 7 and like 9 and they beat the Saints in the first round. But man, like this is just sock after sock after sock. But other games we saw with we saw the Saints win a close one over the Detroit. Seattle and like Miami was extremely tight. I was kind of surprised how competitive that
Yeah,
game
I was.
actually was there.
I was shocked. I thought it was going to be a blowout.
Seattle just could not get any consistent offense going, and if like Miami wasn't so up and down all day, they probably should have like won that game. But a very competitive game there. Baltimore won pretty easily over
Mm-hmm.
Washington. Um, Tom Brady he got a very close win over the
Comeback win.
yeah over the LA Chargers, and then they come on Thursday night and they lose to the Chicago Bears, who are somehow are 4-1 now.
It, John, this ain't the fourth podcast, is it? Or is it week? I'm making fun of Brady. I don't know. It was a bad joke.
Yeah. I was like, wait, yeah. He forgot.
Oh, I should have done it. It was this week 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was a bad setup for a joke, but
Yeah.
we all get the point.
Yeah,
I didn't see that game, and I'm mad because that cost me possible money in my pick 6 because I had Tampa Bay minus 5.5. I thought that was almost a sure, almost a win there. I mean, against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was watching it and I fell asleep
Mm-hmm.
and I woke up and like when you're like out but you can still hear the TV
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I hear final like combination of fun. I thought the game wasn't over, but it obviously was over and said Browns by the Browns, the Bears by 1, and like I kind of woke up and I looked at the score and I went, "Oh my God, Tom Brady, you screwed me again." And then I
It's
saw
like
what
Nick
happened.
Foles. Nick Foles strikes again. Like it's just and I saw after the game too. Tom Brady was such a sore loser that he wouldn't even go across the field and shake someone's hand. And I saw
Or
the
fist
mo
or elbow bump or
yeah,
and
and, and I saw someone on Twitter make one of the dumbest comments whatsoever. They were like, "Hey guys, we are in like COVID. We shouldn't be touching people." I was like, so them hitting each other for like the past like 3 hours, that was fine, right? Like, it's just I'm like, how hard is it to just say say like hey man, good game. That's I don't think that's asking too much because
or elbow bump,
right
elbow bump.
because God forbid if someone say as a like a Big Ben did this, they would be cutting off his like head for this as far as like oh like he is a terrible person yada yada but of course since since Tom Brady did this it's like no big deal, which is part of the course
Yeah.
with the national media.
And
But
then
Yeah,
and the Chiefs beat the Patriots in a low-scoring game.
that was an
Uh,
ugly game
it was.
for Kansas City. Like they did not play well at all. And
If you told me
it,
it was going to be 6-3, well, then again, you don't have Cam. But if you told me it was going to be 6-3 and a half, I would have called you stupid.
how many turnovers that the Patriots had was the freaking story.
Three interceptions between the
Yeah,
two.
and I just thought because I heard all whole offseason was hey, there's a pretty good chance that like how like how like that like Jared Stidham is going to be hating on Cam. I'm like,
Who said that?
yeah,
Any names?
pretty much the whole entire like national media was hyping this up. I'm like, I'm not sure what you people saw, but Cam is clearly is the best quarterback on that team. Like the just such a huge difference.
Yeah,
And
that's
I did not understand that thing at all. And they better hope that he comes back soon because man, if you're the Patriots, just quarterback is a really big problem right now. Obviously, so he will be very much needed, say the least. And Matt, another game that really surprised me too was Arizona laying a freaking egg against the Carolina Panthers. That was
I honestly
yeah
did not surprise me.
that
The only good
that
thing
shocker.
coming out of that was that they didn't blow a lead.
Yeah, like I mean, I was just stunned at just how badly that the Arizona offense did because man, that could possibly loom them huge as the season goes on because I believe that Seattle is 4 and yes, Seattle is currently undefeated. So that could possibly be rather huge because I believe that they is this their second loss here, Matt? I want to say yes.
Who?
Arizona.
You. It is.
I
Wrong
want to say
division. Yeah, they're 2-2.
oh yeah, they lost to the freaking Lions. That's right.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Ooh, those are two really bad losses by them.
they're
Yeah,
they're they're like 500 in the total sense. 2-2. They're points for 98, points against 92. Home
they
and
cannot
away split. 1-1 away split. They won their first two, then they lost their last two.
they
So
cannot be the freaking Jets this week. Then yeah, I'm
I
stick a
I
fork in them.
I I have them in my survivor poll. I'm in, and I pick them against the Jets. That should
anyone
be an easy. That should be an easy win for me to
pick
get to the next week.
pick anyone against the Jets, you'll have some
I
pretty
have
huge.
good odds, but
Yeah,
so help me.
yeah, for sure. So yeah,
There's no way.
right. And so that was pretty much week 4, and we also saw with the with the Packers they laid they laid it in pretty good um against the Falcons who did not lose a lead since they never actually had one in this
Yep.
game. But I gotta say, man, Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his freaking mind, and his interviews on on freaking like Pat McAfee's show are hilarious. Like this is like the most real Aaron Rodgers I have probably have ever seen. It's just basically him shitting on people every single week, and I cannot get enough out of it. So yeah, so the Packers they are now 4-0 now. And I think that was pretty much it as far as anything else. And so far, I believe there are only four undefeated teams right now, which the Steelers, the Titans, Seattle, and there's another one.
Buffalo.
Oh yeah, and
Buffalo, Kansas
oh
City,
yeah,
Steelers,
and Kansas City.
Titans, Seattle, Packers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you? So as we go into like week five, do you see any of those teams losing this week?
Um, if I would
So
say,
so
um,
so Kansas City versus
yeah,
Vegas. I have Kansas City there. So
yeah, I would say, hang on, let me look at the schedule.
yeah.
I are they? Wait, are they not playing?
Honestly, man, like I think probably the only team who is
Tennessee,
yeah, I can see
because they play against the Bills. One of those. Well, the
that's
thing
right.
is,
That's
one
right.
of those two.
Mm-hmm,
One of those two are gonna. Well,
mm-hmm.
that's a toss-up question, but I think most likely, I think the Bills
Yeah.
are playing way too good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, I, I
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee takes their first loss. I honestly in second, I was gonna say, possibility of the Steelers.
mhm,
Even though I doubted, but there's
I don't.
always I don't, but I think there's been games where we thought we should have won and we haven't. So
There
like
is zero excuse for them to
I
lose this
agree. I'm
game.
not saying they will,
Like
but I'm saying in
like
distant second place, I
right
say Pittsburgh.
because just watching that game against San Francisco, like Philadelphia is not a good team. They have a terrible offense line, injuries everywhere. Like they have a like very good a like very good front seven. It's a very good front seven, which I believe they are first or second in total sacks with the Steelers there. So that's like clearly is the best part of their team there. But man, like Wentz, I think has like 7 picks, which I believe is like most in the league right now. So it's definitely a game that the Steelers should win at home. Some fans are there, so hoping that is the
Yeah,
case that they win there. But
but
so yeah, that was week four, and we'll see how the games go there. And Matt, and as we head more into fall, Major League Baseball with their championship series, which I believe with Game Five is
on right
tonight.
now.
Yeah,
Yep,
between the
on Friday. Yep.
between the Tampa Bay Rays and like New York Yankees. And Matt, who are the starting pitchers for those teams right there? Does
Tonight.
it, yep. Does
Let
it
me let
possibly
me
ring a bell
let
there?
me let me let me look right now. With that. Um, where's today's? Oh. Tyler Glass now.
Uh huh.
For the Rays, and let me look. Um, look who's at bat? Oh, Austin Meadows. Garrett Cole. Oh, I'll be damned. Oh, right. You know what? You know who's batting right now and pitching? Cole versus Meadows, as we speak. I kid you
God
not.
damn you, Neil Huntington. Um, like literally tonight
And
it
that's all I will
just
say about that.
yeah, it's just a gift of shame because of the Pirates being the freaking Pirates. But I digress. So what's the score right now by chance?
I believe it is scoreless.
Okay. I'm like, who do you got here, and to go on and face the who won the
The
other?
Houston Astros,
That's right. Oh God.
which is just funny
Like
all around.
like number one heels
Yep.
by far in baseball, right?
I think pretty much both. Um, like, I'm gonna go with the Yankees winning this.
Mhm.
Um, so I
I'm actually hoping for the
for that
Yankees here.
yes, me too. Oh, no.
which
Oh, I think you said Rays. No, I don't want
no,
the.
no,
I don't want the
no,
Yankees.
because only because Garrett Cole versus Houston. Yeah,
Okay, fair,
I really want to see that.
fair,
So
fair. I can take that.
so
Um,
hopefully, if that happens, Yankees and like Houston, and obviously over in the National League, Atlanta Braves and the LA Dodgers, um, which are going to be two very good series. I feel, Matt.
yeah,
LA, pretty typical, a very dominant regular season. Atlanta as well. There, I feel like it could be it could be very even, honestly. And as
yeah,
far as a Houston, or yeah, go
yeah.
go ahead, Matt.
I mean, those. I and I'm gonna be fair here. So, I haven't really watched much just with
Right
my
here.
schedule.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I want to, but like, I don't know, there's so
Time,
much. This
time,
time,
time.
and yeah, and I especially I really want to try to watch at least these championship series and obviously the World Series. But what I was saying is both LA and Atlanta have is 5-0 in this playoff series. They swept
Mm,
both the
yeah.
wild card series and the NLDS over Atlanta, over the Reds, and then over the Marlins and the Dodgers, over Milwaukee, and then over the Padres, who I was really rooting for. They were like the up and coming. Just they, I always forgot how much of talent that they have signed this season. Um, and Unfortunately, they got swept in the NLDS. I was
Mm.
expecting that maybe uh, get a little bit more competitive. But
Yeah,
so
I think it also shows you too, just actually how good that both Atlanta and
yeah, I,
LA were too. You know.
I'm right now. If based on the Yankees winning, I'm rooting for Atlanta out of the four
Yep. Yep.
because they're besides being fresh, they're new and up and coming. They've been last several years have been on the precipice of being a great team.
Mm-hmm.
They've got talent. So I would love them to go and get the get the championship. But if Tampa Bay beats the Yankees tonight, it's between Atlanta and Tampa
Yeah,
Bay,
I'm definitely
just
pulling
for
for
rooting.
both. Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely pulling, especially for like Tampa, who obviously have some foreign pirates there. So
You know,
with them,
a,
Glasnow
a quick
and that other. Yep.
question for you. I don't know if it's gonna be well, it's easy. I don't know, easy to answer, but anyways, how do you like the wild card series best two out of three as a thing?
Honestly, I like it. It's more unpredictable. I feel,
You know,
especially in like baseball, but um,
because yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't watch not enough, but I came home
it's kind
from
of hard though too. You know, like with COVID and everything. Like baseball has really suffered. I feel with the COVID just because everything was just thrown together and stuff.
yeah,
So
but I
but yeah, I definitely like this
they
some
were moving this
format.
doing this moving forward, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I definitely think that they should. I I never was a big fan of the like.
One and go home.
Yeah, I feel like that's especially for a team, for example, such as the Pirates, who won like 99 games,
98.
or
It's
like 98
seared
games,
in my brain as and the
and
same thing with the Cubs. They had 97
yeah, like
and
I feel like that's kind of really unfair. And yes, that was like, you know, in like most years, a lot of those teams are like are teams who have won 88 or 89 games, but it's just, man,
That division was just between us,
ridiculous.
Cubs, and St. Louis,
St. Louis
just dominant.
kept on winning, and like and that year, those were probably three of the top five teams in baseball
Easily at that point. How can you not say? How can you
right,
not
yeah,
say that?
exactly.
But like, yeah, I like the best two out of three, and ESPN did a great thing on ESPN Plus. They had this thing called the squeeze play, basically the NFL red zone. Because back then, because they
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
all eight teams are pretty much playing like the same day, pretty much, or multiple games all throughout the day, and they're showing four games at once. So I can sit back, and I was doing this, but I didn't like, and I fell asleep too watching, because after work, and but sitting there and just watching four games, and just like with something big happening, watch the other one. I love that instead of, we get with the wild card one game, prime time on a Tuesday or Wednesday and one game a night, but here you had a series and it's not like one thing is going to cost you if a pitcher has a bad game. um uh let's say, let's go back to the Pirates. I just think of 14 against San Francisco, Edison Volquez. um
One of the most painful nights of
yes.
my Pirate fandom, right there.
Um the probably the right pitcher for the job. I mean, if you look at the season, this end of the season going into it, it was great, but
It was fine. It's just,
it's he off slightly, and then even if he wasn't spot on, I think early on, except and up until that grand slam, it was
that was it.
relatively close. But Bumgarner was unhittable. Like
Yeah,
there was no way, and he was dominant the whole playoffs to the when they won. Like that wasn't like a one game fluke, which would have even made it worse. But stuff like that. If there was a best two out of three, um, maybe we have a shot. Maybe we do win that. Same thing with the Cubs. You never know, and then you can spin that the other way in 13 against the Reds. Even though I believe that was our best chance of winning
uh-huh.
it all, going farther.
And to me, one
Who
of the
knows? Maybe the Reds pull it out. You never know.
and to me, man, like that whole night, when that Pittsburgh crowd, I've never like even at like Steeler games and hockey games, I've never seen a crowd have that much of an adverse effect on the opposing team. Like it was into like there, like you didn't see too many Cincinnati fans there. Like that was just a sea of freaking black. And to me, one of the fondest memories,
Yes.
to say the least. But that isn't baseball. There, just 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 a thing here or there can change the whole complexion of the game. And for the Pirates with the San Francisco series, like after that grand slam, like that was it. Especially when you're going against like Bumgarner, who
They
was
they
just
could have scored
unhittable.
one and it was enough.
Yep, and that was pretty much the whole entire game.
Was the grand I can't remember. The Grand Slam was the Grand Slam first,
No,
or was that after like a run or so?
I almost say it was in the second or third inning there.
Yeah, it might have been first. That put the nail
There
in
it
the.
is.
You were thinking, oh, okay, maybe. You always think, okay, well, maybe because he's doing good, but maybe you get that one inning, he's off, and maybe this third time around in the batting order, maybe they,
Uh-huh.
come back. You never know if it was 4-0. I mean,
Right.
that's not on impossible to come back,
No.
but it was Bumgarner was just didn't lose anything, and it was kind of just a slow, uh, torturous. The only we I think we had we had this debate leaving. I remember this.
Yeah,
of
I hated you
whether.
so bad for that too, asshole.
Hey, I spent near $100 for these. I am suffering through the whole $100. This is my first and only playoff game. Let me enjoy the pain. But
It
anyways,
was
we had this.
it, there was nothing joyous about that, Mister
I know.
Matt.
I said that
Excruciation.
facetiously, if I can pull out some SAT words, but we had to debate whether it was better to know the result of the game and know it's over, instead of being close and lose in
Heartbreak.
heartbreak
Oh
fashion.
yeah, that's 10 times worse.
It
Yeah,
is worse.
like
I it was better to know and just come and have 5 innings or whatever of acceptance,
mhm.
and instead of having a shot and getting all excited, and then
Oh
something
douche.
one thing bad happens, and then you walk out of there like, we had it. What happened? That was like when I went to
Life
the
happened.
Pitt Cincinnati game back in like '08 or 9, when they against for the Big East regular season championship, and like Pitt was up 31-10 or whatever. And we lost, and it was just like, what happened?
I was at school
That
for
was the
that, and probably every single person on my floor hated me for, because I was saying every goddamn word in the
I
book.
remember that. And
Oh
that was
god.
like the downfall. That was like the peak, and that was like the turning point. Oh,
Dave Wannstedt era. Yep, that was like
that
essentially
was like the
that
the
was
downfall,
yeah,
because we were like ranked like 10th or something, 17th, something
pretty damn
relatively high,
good, pretty good at the time, but
and then it was gone.
it was gross.
Anywho, yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, as we say, guys, not too much this week as far as
it
topics,
was
because
technically
too.
some breaking news,
Oh,
and a
with the
non-sports
Jets.
thing.
Oh,
No,
oh, okay, yeah.
well, that's different. No, but if it
Mm,
switched from non-sports, apparently the debate between Trump and Biden scheduled
yeah.
for the 15th has been canceled for health and safety for all involved. So
Gee,
there
I
we go.
wonder why.
There,
I
I'm
wonder
I'm
why.
I'm
But
shocked.
yeah, I'm not sure if you saw earlier, but apparently someone on Jets test positive this morning. It later came out that it turned out to be a false positive. So I'm game on for the Jets there. So that was like
Um,
one less thing there. Um, yes, Matt.
oh no, that's it. I was going through
Yeah.
just Twitter real quick to see if anything right before we sign off was noteworthy, but
So yeah, guys. And since we were
Schultz went to the Capitals. Oh,
that was a really bad contract, by the way. He got four average 4 million per year. I was like, Jesus
man,
Christ,
get
people.
that money,
Yeah,
Schultz.
I was just like, have you not seen him for the
And then
past 2 seasons?
Lundqvist went to the Capitals too,
And like Jack Johnson
and
to the Rangers there. Yeah,
I think and Holtby went to, I think, to the Western Conference. Went to
yeah,
Vancouver.
I think so. Oh wait, and obviously to Murray. He was dealt to the Ottawa Senators, and I believe he signed a 4 year $25 million extension with them as well. Um, which honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we got as much as we did for him, but yeah, congrats to him. But it's definitely is going to be a like brand new team for the Pens, and I believe I read a stat somewhere that supposedly there's only six remaining from from the back-to-back cup teams
Something like that.
from 16 and 17. So a lot of moves there. But yeah, guys, we're going to cap this here and we want to say also thank you to everyone who like jumped on our wrestling live stream from last night as we since we had some more time we decided to actually do one and to with it being night one of the WWE draft there. So yeah, Matt, you want to
Yep.
what's up?
So, like you said, thanks for everybody for watching this episode and the live stream, which will be later tonight. It's Friday, but as you're watching this, yesterday after SmackDown, we're gonna be talking obviously the draft, SmackDown in general, and probably just touching base on NXT and AEW like always. Hopefully, I'm saying this hopefully like in like this is not after it, so I'll just move on there. So again, like thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. You know the drill. And we'll be back, I believe, depending on the schedule next week. But just watch out on the Twitter. But we'll be back next Saturday at I guess 3:15. Thanks YouTube. Can't make it 3 for episode 62 of the Matt and John Mega Podcast. So for John, I'm Matt. Have a good one.